I am joined today by Andy, who's my farrier, and we have got the Hoof Beat system with us today. So we are going to be measuring biomechanical data before Andy's shoes and after, and then we're also going to have a look then to see what changes we can make from a physio aspect after. So we've already trotted him up, and do you want to talk a little bit about what we found and what we might do for him?
Okay, yeah, so the Hoof Beat machine measures 4 different parameters. So you've got breakover, measures the flight and the flight arc, the landing and mid stance.
Yeah.
So we get data for all those points. We've already trotted him up, we've got the measurements. We'll have a look at those and then we'll sort of try and make a bit of a shoeing plan from there. But just from the sort of observations of the trot up, we've noticed that he looks a little bit like he's struggling behind, like he's slipping a bit. He just doesn't look quite happy. So with the shoeing, we're going to try and help him out a bit and sort of give him a bit more help with his hocks.
Yeah, so he does have arthritis in his hocks. So we've had x-rays done previously, and when we first noticed him, that was about 5 years ago. So he has had remedial shoeing since that diagnosis, hasn't he? We've already done rolled toes
so
for him.
Yeah, we've not done anything too crazy with him, but yeah, he's had rolled toes in front for a while now, just to sort of give him a bit more help. And now that might be the case that that's something he's going to need behind as well.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll make a bit of a shoeing plan and
go from
see
there.
what we can do and remeasure, and fingers crossed we'll have some nice results.
Distances. Perfect. So we've had a little look at the data and we've come up with a plan for him, haven't we?
Yeah, so fairly happy with him in front still. Just going to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Roll toe, try and keep him nice and level. All good. His, like we saw on the trot up, his hinds, he's struggling a little bit. Can try and shoe him with a bit more heel support, bit of a roll toe. The numbers are showing his breakover is a bit uneven from one side to the other.
Yeah.
Try and level that up if we can. And then might just pop a couple of stud nails in him, hind shoes, just to see if we can give him a bit more confidence sliding on the tarmac. So yeah, not reinventing the wheel, just a few tweaks that should help him out. And we'll give him another measure afterwards and see how we got on.
Yeah, and then that can be reassessed next shoeing cycle as well, can't it? To see how he's getting on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's progression that can be made if not.
Yeah, this is the thing with it. You can measure as many times as you need. It's just a good way of keeping on top of things. It's a useful tool if you've got a horse and it's going amazingly well. You can measure and you've got a decent base measurement.
Yeah.
And with him, he's starting to look like he needs some help. We haven't measured him for over a year now. Yeah. So it's good to do it again and make a few tweaks and then see how we go sort of progressing going forward.
Perfect. So we've just finished chewing him, haven't we?
Yep.
And retested.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just want to explain a little bit about what we found?
Okay, so beforehand we were saying he didn't look very happy behind. He was a bit slidey and wanted to give him a bit more help. So he's had roll toes behind, had some stud nails, a bit more heel support, trotted him up, and he does look like he's a bit happier.
Yes.
And to be fair, the Hoofbeat data is suggesting the same thing. He's now got shorter landing times behind, suggests he's not sliding so much and a bit happier with it.
Yeah.
And he's quite even now side to side as well. So yeah, all in all, quite pleased with the numbers and how it looks and how he trotted up and how he looked when he was trotted up after.
Yeah.
So we've got those measurements now. We can see how he goes over the next few weeks. And just sort of play it by ear, measure him again if we need.
Now I'm going to treat him as well and see what other readings we get, because interestingly now looking at our second set of data, it has flagged something in the off-fall, hasn't it?
Yeah, he's just looking a little bit uneven now in the sort of possibly off-fall, maybe there's a touch of soreness somewhere.
Yeah.
But no, it'd be interesting to see what you find out, and we'll have another measure again and see how he's getting on.
See how he gets on. Perfect. So looking at this off-fall, we do have tension through the triceps and as well through brachiocephalic, which is one of your bottom neck muscles, and also running through the pectorals, which is in between his front legs. He does have a little bit of restriction through his lumbers, which is behind the saddle area. And then we know he's been struggling with his hocks, so he's got your hamstrings actually come right up towards the spine. So lower down they feel pretty good. However, up towards the spine, potentially from where he's been bracing, they have quite a lot of tension in them. And then also through sort of his deep hip muscles as well. Good boy. Got quite a lot of restriction through the cervicals, most in particular flexing right. So on his off-fall, we have actually got quite a bit of latissimus bunching, which is one of your back muscles, which connects into your shoulder. And you can see it a little bit when he's weight bearing. But when you actually ask for shoulder rotation, you can actually see it start to bulge. So that's an indication of restriction through that muscle, and then actually makes it look a little bit atrophied behind the scapula because it's bulging down here where it attaches. So if we look at on the near side, you can see, although there is a little bit, we haven't got this great big lump. And actually when we rotate, you don't see quite such a mass. And actually you can see through his back here, it actually looks more full than the other side. Whereas when we had the other limb flex, you actually were getting a little bit of a hollow behind the scapula. So at the moment, we're just using the laser. I'm using a single diode and working on the laser acupuncture points. So this will work quite deep and help work out some of those points of muscle tension. We're using a different head on the laser, and this is the cluster head, and it's got LED lights in it as well. And we are just treating around his hocks. So obviously we know there's arthritis in there, and we're doing everything we can to reduce how much they degenerate and to help with any pain in there as well. So we're now just going to work through this off-fall shoulder with some soft tissue massage and try and particularly release those triceps off and that latissimus bunching. Boy. Feels better. Okay, that flex is better. Boy. idea of the fascial cupping is we are compressing the tissue to cause decompression. So where he's got that bunching, and that will take a while to resolve itself, it's not a quick fix, is to apply the compression to aid it releasing. So it's a bit like what you see in the humans, where they are, you quite often see them with the bruising. So the aim isn't to create the bruising. So we're using it for a very short period of time just to create that reaction in the tissue. And now we're applying K-tape to his off force. So again, we had issues with that right neck flexion and brachiocephalic muscle and through the tricep. So obviously we've got gel in certain places, but we have had quite a few trigger points in this area. So just going to apply some tape to there as well, and hopefully we'll see the difference. So for that tricep area, we're just going to use a decompression star to help where there's been those trigger points. Good lad. So Max has had his treatment now, and we've just retested, and I think overall this afternoon we've got some really good results with him, haven't we?
Yeah, I'd say got to be pleased with what we've managed to achieve in a relatively short space of time, with, on the shoeing side, some fairly minor tweaks.
Yeah. Sandler.
But yeah, since his treatment, the measurements have proved quite an impressive turnaround for, like I say, not, you know, a massive amount of time and treatment. He was actually on his off four. His landing was a similar time to his in trot as it was to walk, which sort of suggests he's sort of a bit guarded with it and was a bit uncomfortable. You've obviously found a couple of issues and worked on him, and we're at the point now where he's a lot more even and
a lot more comfortable.
The data's suggesting he's even side to side, which suggests good stuff. It's all been working. So yeah, got to be pleased. And
it just highlights as well how important it is not to work on your own as a professional, but actually work alongside each other, because just in an afternoon, how much we've managed to achieve with not a lot of time and quite minor things on both parts. So actually going forward in the long run, those benefits are going to be a lot greater. Yeah, so what we managed to achieve with some minor tweaks has made Max more comfortable, and we've also got a lot more symmetry. Some more symmetry, and we've got a baseline data now that we can use going forward to keep an eye on monitor those changes. Yeah. Lovely. So if you've got any questions, then do pop them down below. We'll do our best to answer them. And yeah, we hope you found this interesting, and there's hopefully more videos like this to come.